Every so often, there's a situation on the internet that y'all force upon me. Honestly, that's really the only way that I can describe it. That every time I open up my social media, it's just that you guys will not stop tagging me in this. So guess what? That means I have to make a video about it. So that's why today we're talking about Kira Cousins and Reborn dolls. I've avoided talking about Reborn dolls my entire life. But here we go.
The newborn baby was a reborn doll.
All right, let's get into it. Now, who is Kira Cousins? She's 20-something-ish, something like that. We're getting real specific in this one. You guys did this, not me. She lives in Scotland, and she either currently works at or used to work at a grocery store, supermarket type situation. And she apparently is no stranger to lying and past controversies. We will be going deeper into those in another video. But since this is the specific situation that, put this, unfortunately, on my radar, we're going to cover this one and then go further. Okay. So Kira's TikTok has around 13,000 followers, and she uses the username XSMX41. Now, there have been so many recap videos, or, the videos that are like, I watched this so you don't have to, or like, here's the synopsis of this, kind of like Cliff Notes. This is the best one. And believe me, Kelly looked. I looked as well, but this one was definitely the absolute best one that I could see. So let's go ahead and get into it. Also, a pram is a stroller. So
we've heard of people faking pregnancies, but trying to pass a reborn baby doll off as your newborn baby is a new level of delusion. How far was this girl willing to go with this? Earlier this year, 23-year-old Kira Cousins from North Scotland informed her boyfriend, Jamie Gardner, along with family and friends, that she was expecting a baby. By all accounts, Kira appeared genuinely pregnant. Over the coming months, she shared sonogram scan images, staged positive pregnancy test photos, and even wore a convincing fake pregnancy bump to mimic the physical progression of pregnancy. She frequently updated those around her about her typical pregnancy woes, texting friends about constant nausea and fatigue to just keep reinforcing this ruse. And at no point did anyone suspect it was a hoax. Not even Jamie, the baby's father-to-be, caught on that anything was amiss. All the usual milestones of pregnancy were carefully faked. Kira reportedly obtained ultrasound scanned pictures, and it's unclear if they were doctored or taken from the internet, and then proudly showed them off as proof of her baby's growth. She also posted videos on social media purportedly showing the baby kicking in her womb, and in reality, these kicks were simulated. You can't even see any kicking. There's no kicking. But later onlookers noted that Kira's recorded baby kick looked suspiciously like she was just jostling a memory foam belly prop to imitate movement. During this time, Kira made sure to keep others at a distance whenever possible. She attended prenatal appointments alone, always finding excuses as to why Jamie or family could not accompany her. And if someone asked to feel the baby bump or later to actually hold the baby, Kira would refuse. She always had a convenient excuse ready, protecting the lie at all costs.
You might be thinking like, okay, you guys, that's a big red flag. But I personally know that, because keep in mind, I don't want to give it away yet, but by the title of the video, you already know it wasn't a real baby, okay? So that's the thing, is that if it's not uncommon for people to be like, you're not touching my baby, you're not holding my baby. It's not only like the protective, like, okay, germs, and like boomers be kissing babies. Stop touching my kid with your dirty lips. Anyways, and they're so sick, and then it sucks when they're young and they're sick, and it's just the worst. But you just feel so like helpless and can't really help them at all, and it's awful. And then also hormones on top of that. You are unwell typically after birth. So realistically, it's like, okay, she's just, being a little feral, I don't know.
By the midway point of her supposed pregnancy, Kira amped up theatrics with a full gender reveal party. Both her family and Jamie's family gathered to celebrate. And in a festive scene complete with colored smoke cannons, balloons, and cake, Kira announced that they were expecting a baby girl who she had already named Bonnie Lee. As the due date grew closer, Kira added a dramatic twist to her story, and she told everyone that doctors had discovered her unborn baby had a serious heart defect described as a hole in its heart. This news elicited an outpouring of sympathy and concern. Kira posted frequently about medical appointments and scares related to the baby's heart condition. Family and friends rallied around with emotional support and even material support. Many bought gifts and baby supplies for Kira, not only out of excitement, but also out of compassion for the challenges that she claimed to be facing. So over the summer, she amassed piles of baby clothes, toys, and even an expensive stroller valued around £1,000, all kindly gifted by believing loved ones. Then on October 10th, Kira informed her family that she had gone into labor and given birth in the middle of the night, supposedly all alone. She claimed the delivery was sudden and that she managed without any help. In fact, Kira even shared photos appearing to show her leaving the hospital with newborn Bonnie Lee in an infant car seat.
So that's horrible. And Kira needs to be put in a padded room for her own safety and everyone else's. She stole someone's story. Who's that sound like? Why does it all come back to Elizabeth chicken broth? So she stole someone else's story, basically made it her own and used it for attention, I guess. Faked the pregnancy, faked the birth, obviously, and said that her daughter had like holes in her heart. And then from there, claimed that her daughter died due to holes in her heart. She is also faked pregnancy before, said she gave birth, and then sent pictures to like long distance friends and family of someone else's baby.
Astonishingly, even this was fabricated. The newborn baby in the car seat was actually a lifelike Reborn doll. Kira had acquired an incredibly realistic looking baby doll to serve as Bonnie Lee, complete with a pacifier, a swaddling blanket to impersonate a real infant. She brought this doll home, passing it off as her healthy newborn daughter, and got away with it for almost an entire week. In the first day or two after this birth, Kira continued the charade. She sent around pictures of the newborn and even told one cousin via text.
So again, not to, really hammer home the clear parallels between Kira Cousins and Elizabeth Speckenbach. Have a little listen to this.
Astonishingly, even this was fabricated. The newborn baby in the car seat was actually a lifelike Reborn doll. Kira had acquired an incredibly realistic looking baby doll to serve as Bonnie Lee, complete with a pacifier, a swaddling blanket to impersonate a real infant. She brought this doll home, passing it off as her healthy newborn daughter, and got away with it for almost an entire week.
So there's this account or this page on Facebook, I guess, called Exposed Cheats and Abusers in Scotland. Love that. And they have posted a lot about her, like a lot. And here are just some pictures of I keep wanting to say the baby, but the doll. Even when I saw like a picture of it when I was just looking at it and I was like, that's a silicone ass baby. But like looking at it, I was like, for some reason in my head, I was like, should we censor this kid's face? Chelsea, it's not a kid. It's a plastic. It's silicone. It's a doll. Before we get too far into this video, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, which is Aura. Y'all know a lot about me, but did you know that I hate wasting time? And do you know what I love? Feeling safe. And Aura really does bring both of those things together. Aura is all-in-one digital security. They protect your privacy by identifying data brokers that are selling your private and personal information. Now, legally, these data brokers and these websites do have to take down your information and remove it from their website if you ask them. That's only if you ask them and only if you have the time to do so. And also if you can even figure out how to do it, because typically it's not easy. They do not make it easy for you. But thank the Lord, Aura handles that for you. So for instance, here's a screenshot of my Aura app. And as you can see, they've completed 90 requests and there are 6 removals in progress as well. And that can help against identity theft, when data brokers are selling your information to businesses and solicitors, misuse of your property information. And obviously that can result in less spam calls, scam calls, junk mail. But keep in mind, it's not only people who are trying to spam you with things or scam you. There are stalkers that can actually get this information too. And there's way more services than just those automatic and regular. So they have password management, fraud alerts. They'll tell me if there have been data breaches for, big companies. They also have VPN services too, with over 100 locations. I use that on all of my devices. So be sure to take advantage of their 14-day free trial by going to aura.com/CCSUAREZ and see just how much of your information is out there. Not only that, but how much information that Aura can scrub for you. Again, that is aura.com/CCSUAREZ for a free 14-day trial. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video and being a continued sponsor of my channel. And thank you to you guys for supporting my sponsors. I could not have this be my full-time job without you. Anyway, so here's her picture. Kira, it says, Miss Bonnie Lee Joyce Gardner, born 10/10/25 at 2:46 a.m. 5 pounds and 4 ounces. That is a small ass baby, or a small ass doll, if you will. And she actually had a gender reveal, and it's wild that she had like pictures of like ultrasounds, and then they did like the big popper. Crazy. So I'm assuming she's just wearing a fake belly. And she was even posting on, I believe this is Snapchat, and it says like the princess is kicking, but obviously it's not kicking. Oh, whoa. Ooh, that's crazy. Yikes. So the person who submitted this to this page with all of this, I guess, it said, Kira Cousins, where the f do I even start? So Kira is/was a good friend of mine. And the day she told me she was pregnant, I was so happy for her that I was going to be an auntie again. Sending me baby scans, 4 months go by and the gender reveal comes. Me, my mom, niece, we all went. We bought her gifts. She received a lot of presents for her baby doll. Anyway, no one thought for a second that she wasn't pregnant or lying to everyone. Everyone believed Kira. Kira was texting me all throughout her pregnancy, telling me never to get pregnant. She's constantly sick, felt so lonely and all the rest. Telling me Jamie never went to any of the appointments with her, painting him and his family to be the worst. Well, you didn't have any appointments. This is diabolical. Like, she needs to be studied. She also called me at 1:30 early on the 10th of October. I never answered as I was asleep. I woke up and had a Snapchat from her. Hi, Aunt Neve. Bonnie Lee is my name and I was born at this time and I weigh this much. The exact same weight as my daddy when he was born, and I can't wait to meet you. Listen, I don't know how it is in Scotland, but like, you're not leaving the next morning, typically with any type of birth. But then also, if your baby's less than 6 pounds, and in the thing, she said that her baby was due in November. And so then it would have been premature, and like less than 6 pounds. No, that gonna be in the NICU, but also there's no baby. Okay, yeah, no, I'm in the future too. Got it. Yeah, sorry. But it's also just like, lie better, you know, but also don't lie at all. Lord. She also sent me a video of her walking out of the hospital with the baby in the car seat. So this just went to the hospital with a doll in a car seat to take that video? That is wild. I felt terrible as I thought she went through it on her own. So I sent her a video crying with excitement and congratulated her. 2 days later, after the baby was born, she texted me saying Jamie's mom had said to her, it's a doll. She's not moving or anything. She will be freezing. Never let Granny hold the baby or touch the baby again. So she grabbed the baby and went to somewhere to get her checked out. She said that the hospital told, I guess that's the name of the hospital. She said the hospital told her to just keep the baby wrapped up, and she had mucus. I don't, that's not how you spell mucus. I don't know. Maybe they spell things different over there. The same day she told me that it's normal for a newborn baby not to open their eyes. The following day, she texted me saying, I need to get out of this house. Can I come see you? I said, yeah, of course. Do you want me to pick you up as you just had a baby? And she said, yeah. And I went. I asked her if she needs help, but she said no. But anyway, I took the pram and put it in my boot, and she strapped the car seat in and asked me to take her to Morrison's where she worked so she could show everyone the baby. So we went, and all her colleagues were giving her money for good luck. And she asked the manager, can I come back to work, as a joke? And the manager said, Kira, just enjoy this time off bonding with Bonnie Lee. So now everyone at her work has met the baby. She had the car seat really close to her, and my mom was also excited to meet the baby, as Kira has been telling my mom for weeks and months, and she just couldn't wait to see her. My mom moved the blanket just to see her little legs, as everyone does, little baby feet. And Kira moved so quickly to put the cover back over her. She even made a bottle for her, but then said, well, she's not crying or even awake right now, so I'm just not going to bother her. She was on the phone with Jamie, and he was asking for DNA tests to be done, but the baby had something, so it couldn't be done. And then her cousins phoned and said, Kira, why have you taken the baby to your friends before I could even meet her? And her cousin is a social worker, so she never wanted her cousin to see her, as she would have known straight away that it was a doll. She didn't let anyone touch the baby, not even me, when she was at my house, but we thought she was just being an overprotective mom. When I was dropping her off, she said that she called Jamie and asked him to be at her house so that he could feed the doll. Of course, at that time, she's not calling it a doll. As soon as we got there, 2 minutes from her house, Jamie calls back and says that he's not going to come, but he could later. The next day, my sister had noticed all of her photos on Facebook had been deleted. Then I went on to Snapchat and noticed that she deleted any and every picture and video of Bonnie Lee from our chats. I was texting her, asking her why she had done that, and she ignored me. And then I added Jamie on Snap to understand what the F was happening. And I asked him, is this a doll? And he says, yes, it's a doll. I can't imagine how he must feel right now. And everyone else that they've been lied to for months and months, and believed that they were going to be grandparents for the first time, and uncle for the first time, and all of her family and friends. As I know, I feel totally used, drained, and mentally I'm forked. I feel like I can't trust anyone or believe anyone. Everyone got conned by her. And I feel worse because I'm one of the few people to meet this baby. I was driving 20 miles an hour on the motorway as I didn't want to hit any bumps and give the doll a fright. But deep down, I know I've done everything correctly, and I just genuinely cared about this doll. And she even went to the extreme and texted Jamie, the doll's dad, saying Bonnie Lee died. That's 100% not what it looks like when a baby's kicking. Yeah, good Lord.
Come on.
Okay, so here's another one, and it said, I normally wouldn't involve myself in stuff like this. I met Kira through the gym when I lived in somewhere I can't pronounce. I would bump into her when she was at work at Morrison's. I had her on my socials for years. I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, and Kira messaged me right away and said that she had stage 4 ovarian cancer and understood what I was going through. She said it had spread to her bones, and she was giving me advice during my chemo on side effects, etc. She told me she would come shave her hair with me when my hair started to fall out. I would check in with her as she would tell me she was due chemo to see how she was getting on. Some of what she said to me didn't add up with what she was posting on social media. I stopped engaging with her and took a step back from chatting with her. I saw she was pregnant, but when you're stage 4 like she claimed to be, you're on treatment for life, and I found it so weird. Cancer treatment destroys your fertility. Yes, it does. I thought she was either lying about being pregnant or lying about having cancer. When I saw the photo of the baby right away, I knew it was a doll. Kira clearly has issues, and I really hope she gets the help she needs. No one should ever be lying about having cancer or losing babies. Some of us are out here living it, and it's disgusting behavior. 100%. That's disgusting. Oh my God. And now here's one of the posts that Kira made on what I assume is Facebook. And it says, it's been a challenging and heartbreaking couple of days regarding baby Gardner. Jamie and I have had some time to talk with the family and close friends and share some information that I feel like now, as everyone's checking in and asking, we should share the news of our beautiful princess. Thankfully, the midwives and sonographers these last few tests have picked up something that breaks our hearts. Grieving that healthy baby we thought we would have, but knowing she will still be in our arms, they let us know that baby G has congenital heart defects. Okay. This means she's born with it at birth. You don't say. At what other time would you be born with it at? When do you think? And will be present in not, sadly, her adult life. The condition is known as a complete balanced, nope, can't read that, or AV canal, which means he has a hole in the middle of her heart, as it didn't develop and form the correct way and has been this way since the early stages of pregnancy. While the ventricles leak, it should be pumping around, the body struggles, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, while this is terrifying for both of us as parents, we can't begin to understand what lies ahead for us, go through, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We have many more appointments with specialists, and we're getting the best care for our daughter in the meantime. Thank you so much for checking in. Please respect privacy on both sides of the family, regardless of what happened, to which I'm sure everyone seen last week. Both families' main priorities is our daughter, and having her supported and loved through the difficult time of her life. Mommy and daddy both love our girl, no matter what. We have got you. Then she posted a picture of a heart that shows valves. So that's interesting. Oh no. And then she's reposting stuff on Facebook that's from the Children's Heart Foundation. And today's World Heart Day, in case you didn't know. That is insane. And then Heart Kids, and she kept posting stuff about that. That is insane. Perfection. That is a rubber baby. That is insane. Kira even made posts about the struggles of co-parenting. And she said, this is genuinely the last time I'm going to say this is mine and my baby girl's life now. Do not sit and act and message me like you know everything and that co-parenting is easy. This for months is what I had to deal with. And this is text between apparently Kira and Jamie, the father of the doll. Good God. And this is allegedly when she told him that like the doll died. She said, something happened to Bonnie Lee, but I need someone here with me to explain things to you so you can understand. And he said, what? And she said, Bonnie Lee deceased, but you need to give me time to tell you everything, etc. And I will, I promise. And he said, what the And she said, please no. Why does she keep saying H? I assume she means I. If you just typed I, you should be able to type I again. Please no, I want answers, but please, Jamie. Or maybe she means you. I know you want answers. I think that's what she means. He said, you left me in the dark for long enough. I'm coming up. And said, you ain't getting in, so charge on. Like you won't get in. And he says, this isn't fair, selfish. Okay. And then Neve, actually, which was the thing that we read previously, they came out with their story. I love that Kelly put in here, pronounce Neve. I know how to pronounce that. She spoke out. It was posted 2 to 3 days ago by the time this goes up. And the video is 10 minutes long, but there's so much good info in it. And let's just go over some quick Scottish terms so that we all, aren't feeling like idiots. So Orange Walk is a a walk they do on July 12th to commemorate some fight or something, some battle. And there were violent outbursts, and some Catholics say that it was offensive. And then the Orange Order, exclusively Protestant fraternal organization. We means small. We know what that means. I don't know. I don't know. Or Yono say, if you will. Pram, stroller, the Kelpies, 2 100-foot tall steel horse head sculptures in Helix Park, and then Morrison's is a supermarket.
Story time about Bonnie Lee and Kira Cousins. So 8-9 months ago, she texted me telling me that she was pregnant, and I was so happy for her. And she told me that Jamie didn't want to tell his mum, so she begged and begged Jamie to tell his mum that they were having this baby, and he begged her and begged her to get an abortion. And anyway, a few days later, she ended up texting Jamie's mum on her own, saying that they were having a baby and she was pregnant. And his mum wasn't happy because they'd only been getting to know each other for a month, but they were in the Orange Walk together. And anyway, so 3-4 months go by and she has a gender reveal, and everybody is at the gender reveal, both sides of the family at the gender reveal. Then 2 weeks after the gender reveal, she posts that the baby has a hole in its heart. And I genuinely believe she said that the baby has a hole in its heart, so in like a couple of weeks' time after the baby was born, she could have then said the baby had died if her cousin or mum didn't walk in and see that it was a doll. Anyway, on the 10th of October, she decides to take the baby to her stepfather's dead grave. So she takes a picture of it and she posts it on Facebook, and then the next day she posts on Facebook thanking her gran and great gran for buying Bonnie Lee her first chair. I just don't know how to feel right now. Like, I feel so dumb because I was in Morrison's where I had the doll in my car, I had the doll in my house. Like, she was sitting in my house making bottles up and all that. Like, it's crazy. I just can't believe how much one person can affect somebody, and she has affected me like nobody else has ever affected me this bad. Like, I feel like if somebody has to tell me I'm pregnant, I'm going to just punch it and be like, no, you're not. It's a doll.
So an interesting thread on here is that on TikTok in the comments, a page called Ivy Reborns commented and said she emailed me in June about silicone dolls, and I DM'd them. They were just worried, like, they're like, I don't know if like legally I can show you the email. I'm not sure, but I commented on it and I was DMing back and forth with them. I was like, I looked it up, pretty sure you can, because it's like, you know, in regards to like public interest and like outing wrongdoing and like scamming and stuff like that. However, another person commented on that and replied to me and was like, hey, if you're just looking for like insight like into this, you know, type of community or whatever, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. So and the person was like, I'm a collector, like I'd be happy to answer questions. And so I did ask him some questions because we really, y'all, we got to get into newborn dolls. Not like we need to get into it, but like not newborn, reborn, because some of this shit's insane. However, I don't want to be insensitive, and I can understand how it can like be therapeutic kind of, but then also like some people just have like the hobby of like dolls. But then there's people who walk around and who are like, this is my therapy, and they're like walking around with a doll at Disney in like a stroller, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. You should be too. And that comes from someone who has had multiple miscarriages. It's just like, that doesn't seem like that would help you. Anyways, so I DM'd that person and I said, hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm a commentary creator, blah, 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 all that. And I was like, you said that you're a collector. How long have you been collecting them? What got you into it? And in your own words, can you give me some insight on if there's do's and don'ts within the community itself regarding like ethics, etiquette, or anything that you would see that would make you go like, yeah, that's not okay. So they said, hey, yeah, I'm easy. I've been collecting on and off for 9 years now, solidly for the last 2 years. I've always been a doll person, and I saw on a YouTube video of Reborns and I really just fell in love. I currently have 10. That's a lot, girlfriend. And aside from the therapeutic benefits, I just love the artwork, especially how the same sculpt, which I think they mean like the same like base, I think is what they mean, can look different depending on how they're painted. I think one of the main things not to do with reborns is use real formula. Reborns at their core are pieces of plastic. They don't have any needs, and it's a massive waste to use real formula for them. It takes food out of real babies' mouths. Additionally, I think that pretending a newborn is a real baby is inherently wrong. It's more nuanced than that. Like if you're checking out in the shop, fine, answer questions as if it's real. But to anyone you see regularly, it's just lying and morally wrong. Another thing that's widely accepted as wrong is taking prams or car seats on the bus. It's taking up space that real babies could use. I think it's also important to know that the doll that Kira had was not authentic. Not only did she lie to her friends and family, but she exposed them to potentially dangerous chemicals that are in these scam dolls. She is the outlier, and the majority of reborn collectors aren't like that. Me personally, I put my dolls away often. I don't interact with them every day, and you wouldn't know that I had them unless I told you. So that person was super, super helpful, and I really appreciate that because we see all too often, like for instance, one of my favorite obscure subreddits is Reborn doll cringe. And I do like that this person brought up the aspect of it being like a counterfeit reborn doll. Like there are ones that people make that are, I don't want to say like aren't up to code, but like they're not like as good. It's just like when you're buying a counterfeit product of anything, right? You don't know what's in it, opposed to like this really popular brands, then, you know, you typically would know what's in it. We all hopefully have hobbies and things. I mean, I love making book nooks. Can you see any of them? Okay, you can see that one and that one. I love making these book nooks. I think they're so cool and just so like intricate. And then obviously like I have my wig collection as well. Like there's multiple things that I like get really into and I like love, and it just brings you joy. It's not hurting anyone else. It's not, you know, hurting you. And it's just something about you, you know? That's okay. However, the Reborn doll cringe page on Reddit is really funny and also like terrifying too. But I really appreciated that person for giving me more insight on Reborn dolls, which I do want to do like a full ass video on them. So please in the comments down below, please let me know if you want me to do a full video on the world of Reborn dolls because it's crazy. So here's one theory. A TikTok user named Danielle left a comment on Neve's video stating that she could have maybe actually been pregnant and lost it and then pretended that she hadn't due to a mental break. And I can't fathom it. To be honest, I'm trying to make sense of it. And these responses are all over the place. Like those types of responses are on that original Facebook post that we read through too, that Neve's story is basically on. And so many people are thinking that that's what happened. However, she's faked a pregnancy before and she's faked cancer before. So I'm much more hesitant to believe that. Now, Kira has made a statement. Raw Beauty Christy might not have made a statement right away, but Kira did, okay? If you know, you know. I like how I say if you know, you know, it was literally my last video I posted. Anyways, she admits that Bonnie was a doll. She turned off the comments, and due to copyrighted music, we're just gonna pop up the 2 photos because that's all it is anyways. And it's titled Discovering the Doll. Girl, you don't need to title this. You need to be in a straitjacket. In my own words, let's set this straight for the aunt or cousin that seems to be giving it bell tinker, thinking they know. This is another language. Like, sorry, ma'am, I speak American. What's going on here? Fahrenheit, and I don't know what this says. I was still in bed when my own mother came into my room, stormed out, and found it to be a doll and shouted downstairs. Prior to this, it's true, I had been keeping myself away from literally everyone. Went into my own bubbles. I keep thinking like it's a language barrier, but it's not a different language. So maybe she just is, I don't know. Does being very mentally unwell make it so you like can hardly put together a sentence? Elizabeth Tackenbrock, have you read some of those emails? Crazy. Didn't want anyone around me at all. The next I know, I was sitting against my door, wouldn't come down to be confronted by all the family that had been assembled like the Avengers. I was never in the shower or toilet. Why are we yelling that? My family then sat me down, asked me what had happened earlier in my pregnancy, which I will come out and address when I'm ready to do so. Don't for 1 minute think either they let me away with half of this. They haven't. Can I just disclaim none of my family knew, nor did Jamie and his family. Despite everyone having suspicions, nothing came to light until the Tuesday morning/day. Kira, I got 5 questions. Actually, about 500. First is, what the fuck? Lord. Okay, so like I said, I'm not super keen on believing the theory of like maybe she lost the pregnancy like earlier on and like just due to like a mental break, which, listen, girl, I have been in an episode before after a miscarriage. You bet your tush. But because she has lied allegedly about being pregnant before, and that was in 2023, I'm less inclined to believe that other theory. So she gave birth, stole someone's newborn photos off of the internet / social media, passed them off as pictures of her own child, and she allegedly has lied about having cancer. So you can tell a lot about someone and how they're like handling situations by the repost tab on TikTok. Kira's reposts are wild. So for instance, this one, it has copyrighted music, but it's me mentally preparing myself to hurt feelings when someone thinks they're entitled to see my baby. And then this one that says, when you're on maternity leave, but your coworkers still call you to drop the tea. And since you're not on site, the drama feels like a live podcast. And then this one that says, when grandparents are shut out from their grandchild because of a family argument, the grandchild loses the most. It's called triangulation. It's a narcissistic tactic and abuse. I'm saying the quiet part out loud. Daughter-in-laws, we don't have to love you to love our grandbabies. Don't let your ego steal love from your child. Do better. And then there's people that are using AI to like make videos on the topic, which is gross.
Months of sitting in a Temu box to be caught in 3 days. My great auntie wants her 500 pounds back, and Gran wants her 1,000 pounds back for my pram.
Anyways, but this lady right here makes several good points. She makes the point about people who are really going through struggles that Kira pretended to experience the same thing, and how obscene it is for Kara to make all this shit up.
I understand the level of manipulation that she went to. Like, she waited in the car park for 8 hours and pretended she was giving birth. She registered the birth. She brought it home in a car seat. She had a funeral for this child. I mean, the deceit really did run deep. But I don't understand how nobody could know it was a doll. I find that really hard to believe. Like, if something isn't breathing and it's not growing, how can you say that you didn't know it was a doll? And if she had done it before, do you not think her family would have been like, well, hang on a minute, this is a bit weird, and actually checked that the baby was real? Because I know I would have. But I don't condone the behaviour. All them people out there that can't have children, that have got cancer, that have had real struggles in life. How can people sit on here and do this to people? But anyway, let me know your thoughts, because I don't know how the family didn't know. But that's just me. Happy mental health, my darlings, and take care. And if this has affected you, please reach out.
And then this guy has theories about how multiple people were in on Kira's story, which is like, how would that benefit them? I don't think it would. So like, I don't know. Either way though, she do be collecting sad fishing sympathy stories like Pokemon.
And I don't care what anyone says, the motive, well, more people are in on this than they're letting on. And this screams to me that it's a money-making scandal, calculated, manipulative, and perfectly staged to get us all talking. And it works because, well, here we are talking about it. Oh, and let's not forget that this isn't even her first rodeo. She's pulled this trick once before. Oh yeah, and she even faked having cancer at one point. I mean, you kind of have to admire the dedication, right? It's like she's collecting sympathy stories like Pokemon cards, isn't it? Pokemon gotta get 'em all!
So for instance, this video was posted and it says, Netflix, we demand a whole series on the case of Kira Cousins right now. What do you mean she's scammed people twice with fake pregnancies, had a gender reveal that included both sides of the family, and managed to convince a man that he's the father to a literal doll? She had him feeding and waking a doll. See, but like that part wasn't talked about too much. So that's like where I'm confused, is like, did he actually hold the baby? The doll, I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know, because like when the so confused. I'm sure there's probably going to be an update about this one. So let's get it. Let's get it, girls. Let's go, girls. And obviously I don't want to like laugh at mental illness because this person's clearly mentally ill, but it's just so absurd and so, again, unbelievable. Like a lot of the shit we cover, where it's just like, if I'm not going to laugh about it, I'm going to cry about it. So truly unhinged and insane. I'm surprised that Elizabeth Teckenbrock has never gone the fake baby route. She just allegedly lies to the father of her children and says that she's on birth control each time when she's not. So super cool and not like literal entrapment. Oop. It is 4:46. I gotta go pick up my kid from school. So appreciate you, love you. If you are subscribed, please know that I appreciate you so much, that I love you so much, that I hope that the dolls from the Reborn Doll Cringe subreddit page, they're banished. They will not be haunting your dreams. They will not be at the foot of your bed. You will not like see them run by out of the corner of your eye into your bedroom. That won't happen to you. However, that's obviously, like I said, only if you're subscribed. Also, your butt looks good instantly if you do that. Who are you going to believe? Your lying ass eyes or me? But if you are not subscribed, there are currently 4 of those under your bed, just waiting to grab your ankles. And then at night, when you slowly open your eyes, and you're like, oh my God, what time is it? You're going to look up in the corner of your room. You know, that corner that looks a little bit too dark where the wall meets the ceiling, wall ceiling, you know, that little 3-way. You're going to look up there half awake and you're just going to see one just looking like a spider in the corner, but it's like head's going to be turned around. So that happens if you're not subscribed. It's terrifying, I know, but like you could fix the problem. Subscribing is basically like a saging, you know, it's basically a saging for your house from these creepy Reborn dolls. So proven to work. All you have to do is subscribe. I appreciate you so much. We just hit 194,000 subscribers. So thank you so much. I cannot believe we're about to hit 200,000. That's a lot of people. I'm so incredibly thankful for you and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching my videos, liking my videos, commenting, sharing, especially sharing and watching obviously, but I appreciate it so much and this job is amazing and I'm so happy that I get to do this, and especially with my more serious videos. This was a wild one, but for my more serious like deep dive videos and things like that where I get to, you know, be a louder voice for victims of whoever and whatever, I am just insanely blessed and lucky and thankful that I am trusted in that way with my channel and with my content. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I might have caved and I might be starting a podcast with my sister. Not maybe, I am. Can't believe she convinced me to do this. So I'll have the YouTube channel for that link down below. There's literally no branding on it yet, but since you made it to the end of the video, you get a little surprise and a little Easter egg, I guess. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. You are valid. You are valuable. Stay spicy, stay feral, even delusional. Not like Kira though. She's too delusional. Okay, goodbye.